For most of us, luck is something that we've been conditioned to believe or convinced to believe doesn't exist or exists only for a tiny, tiny minority of people. What if I told you that is a blatant lie, and the people who have told us this know that it's a lie, that it's actually possible for anyone, if they know how, to become what we call extremely lucky, where things just seem to work out for them and are in their favor. Where essentially life starts to bring you more opportunities, more people that can help you, more love and peace and joy on a regular basis. Now, the elites, the most prosperous people throughout history and currently, even like royal families and secret societies, are very aware of the law of luck. They are very aware of how to use it to their advantage, and there are even some elites, unfortunately, that really want to control the population, that are aware of how to twist this law to make people unlucky, or to make people really start bringing about more of what they don't want versus what they do want. Essentially, there are those who have conditioned us into believing this doesn't exist, which actually brings about bad luck, or what we call bad luck. So in this video, we're going to dive a little deeper into what luck actually is. I'm going to show you how you can cultivate it more in your life and how that works, and also give you some tools that are going to help you start being, again, more lucky and have better fortune and have more of what you want coming in, almost immediately if you utilize these. So that's coming up next. Now, before we move into this idea that many of those in control want you in this place of being unlucky, I just want to give a call here that this is not an excuse to play the victim. In fact, one of the states that those in control, those who want to manipulate you, those who, we can call them the powers to be, or powers that be, whatever that saying is, one of the states they absolutely love when you're in is victimization, is a victim state. Why do they love it? When you're playing the victim and you're in this state and you feel like you're helpless, or you feel like a victim, or you feel like things are unfair, because you are more controllable. You are not tapping into the power that's within you, and you are certainly not going to be able to tap into what we're going into today. So I just want to give this call real quick, and this goes for any of my videos. None of these are a call to victimize yourself. These are all a call to empower yourself with the power that is within you, with the power that you will start to gain as you apply what we go over here, what people who go through my program start gaining really, really quickly. But we need to remove victimization immediately. Nothing will keep you further from your dreams, the life you want to live. Nothing will keep you in pain more than playing the victim or being in a victim state. And so I just want to mention that this is not an excuse to get lodged more into that state. If anything, it is a call to action, to do the things that get the tendrils of these people, the claws of these people out of you, off of you, so that you are living a more sovereign and empowered existence. Now, getting to it, those in control are very aware of the law of luck, how to use it, and use it all the time in order to manifest amazing things, in order to have flow in their life, in order to really tap into these universal principles, to have more and more good things come in their life. They are 100% aware of this. They're also very aware on how to create conditions that cause people to become what we call unlucky. They're very aware of how to get people to think in a certain way that produces bad luck. And essentially, we can think of bad luck in the way we're talking about here is you having unfavorable circumstances, events, people, and just all these things happening in your life. Again, these people are experts at putting you in a state that creates the conditions for that to be what happens in your life. So what does being lucky look like? Well, it's really simple. Someone who is lucky has plenty of opportunities, the right people coming in, flow, and so on, just coming into their life almost in this non-linear, easy, and effortless way. They seem to almost always be at the right place at the right time. That's a big one, actually. And ultimately, they live what we could consider a very charmed life. I think everyone watching this probably knows someone that fits this description, or you've heard of someone who knew someone who fit this description. And they're very much the outliers in life, because a lot of people aren't doing what we're going to be going over in this video, or investing into things that help them to understand these principles and apply them. Now, what does being unlucky look like? We mentioned it a bit earlier, but a little more expanded. It's simply someone who always seems to miss the opportunities that are there. They miss the right people or don't meet the right people. And they're always in more of a constant struggle than a flow. They almost always are too late to the opportunity, and their timing always seems to be off. They're never at the right place at the right time. Sometimes they're so unlucky they miss being there like by a fraction of a second, but it's enough to miss the opportunity. They typically live a life that is filled with struggle, filled with doubt, and filled with confusion. Now, I don't know about you, but one of these scenarios seems like a much better way to live than the other. And as someone who has experienced both ends of the spectrum, being someone who could be considered extremely lucky and having amazing things come into his life as I'm having now, versus like I've had times in my early 20s when I was homeless and I was broke, and I exhibited many of the things I described as a unlucky person here. I can tell you, having experienced both of those things, one is much more preferable, and that is learning how to become, again, lucky. Now, I'm using quotations because, again, this is not chance. Chance and luck are completely different things. Anyone can become lucky, and anyone can become unlucky. It's just which you choose to become. Now, if you want to learn how to become lucky in the shortest time possible and literally have just good fortune and good things flow into your life easily and effortlessly in line with universal principles, then I go check out our 6-month transformation reality creation program called EMF. I have a free case study and free training that is linked down below that will give you more information on the program, the results people have been getting, and also give you a free training in the process, so you can check that out down below. Now, again, most people have been taught, without their knowledge, to be unlucky, or they have been taught to not believe in luck, which basically gets you the same results as being unlucky. And so I'm not saying if anyone watching this, if you're watching this and you've been generally unlucky in your life, I'm not saying necessarily it's your fault to like the most biggest degree. But what I am saying is whose responsibility, if anyone's, is it to change it? Whose responsibility is it to learn how to switch this so that you become, again, what we call lucky and have more of the good come in your life that you actually want? It's no one's responsibility other than yours. Some people, like myself in this video, can show you the way, give you tools, give you next steps, but you ultimately have to make the decision that you're going to do this. You have to create your own luck. You have to be aware of the opportunities around you to take advantage of them. You make your own luck, gig. You know what makes a good loser? Practice. What Hemingway is saying there, or alluding to, I think hits the nail on the head. What makes an unlucky person? Simple. Practice. But when we flip that, it's the same on the other side. What makes a lucky person? Simple. Practice. If you practice the habits, behaviors, the attitudes of someone who is unlucky, if you are always thinking, feeling, and doing the habits that contribute to that, well, you're going to remain that. But if you practice the lucky habits, the things that bring about more good in your life, if you practice the way of thinking that allows for that, the way of moving, taking action, the way of following certain things over other things, that allow for that to come in your life, well, then you're going to start becoming a lucky person. And so just remember, anyone who's unlucky got there through practice, whether intentionally or not, usually not intentionally. And anyone who is quote unquote lucky got there through practice, and usually for those who are lucky, it's more intentional, which we'll get into in just a sec. You see, you can actually pull everything you want to yourself magnetically through certain habits, thoughts, and ultimately who you are. But you can also repel all of the good things in life as well away from you by who you are as well. And again, who you're being is someone who's conditioned to be unlucky will repel. Someone who is conditioned to be lucky, or I should say has conditioned themselves to be lucky, will start to attract. Now, I've mentioned this before, but just to reiterate, one of the first things you have to do if you want to become more lucky, have more good fortune come in, have more opportunities open up for you, is you have to take full responsibility for your life. If you remain in a victim state even a little bit, it's going to be hard for you to attract luck. And I'll just say it this way, if you have this I don't want to take responsibility for my life attitude, you will remain unlucky until you change that. And so the first thing we need to do is accept responsibility for our life. And just to really drive this point home, you will never meet someone who is incredibly negative, who thinks negatively, feels life is a struggle and hard and miserable, who is lucky. You will never meet this person. And on the flip side, you will never meet someone who has an extremely positive, genuinely positive attitude, who loves life, sees it as a wonderful opportunity, a playground, a way to express themselves, moves from a place of love. You'll never meet someone like that who is unlucky. There's a reason for that. Luck and how lucky someone is going to be is actually very predictable when you know what to look for. Again, these laws of the universe are absolute. The law of cause and effect is really in play when it comes to luck. We have been deceived into believing that we are not powerful. You are incredibly powerful, and a part of taking responsibility is owning your own power, is owning that you have the ability to create, that the way you see things literally influences things, that your intention and the intention you go into things with, the expectations you go into things with, the energy you go into things with actually manipulates, actually molds reality and will change outcomes. So basically, if deep down you believe you're unlucky, you will be. But deep down, if you believe you are lucky and good things come to you easily, and you genuinely believe that, it's not just lip service, you will be. And again, I understand that can be difficult if you've lived a life believing you're unlucky, your life's happening to you, but a new future is always available. I would write that down because it's so true. A new future is always available. So let's get into some of the tools you can start using now that are going to start you down the path to being luckier. Again, this is something that you have to kind of shift within you and may take some time. And again, I would check out my program down below, which is going to help you. It's not going to just help you, it's going to get you there. And you can see the results we get on that page to show that this isn't just lip service. This thing works magically, amazingly, if you just do the work and trust the process. But I would check that out if this is something you don't want to do through trial and error. This is not something where you want to take 2 steps forward, then 2 steps back, where you want your questions answered. You want to know exactly how to do it and get the blueprint. Again, check out that free case study and training down below. But I am going to give you some tools you can start out with right now. So the first thing I want to mention is the power of your intention. Your intention is so incredibly powerful. Like I mentioned earlier, you are so much more powerful than you realize. And your intention, your expectation projects outwards and actually influences reality. If you know the observer effect, simply by a conscious being observing a situation changes it. If you look at the double slit experiment, waves turn into particles through the observation effect. If there's no observer, it remains in potential. It remains in a wave form. But when there is an observer, it turns to particle. It turns into more physical. And through your intention, you can start observing things from a good place so you can expect good outcomes, the good to come in. And so you have to have this expectation that good things happen, that you are lucky. But again, detach yourself from the outcome at the same time. There's a subtlety to this. This is what we help people with, but that's where the magic really is. But again, the power of your intention can't be stated enough. If you go in with good intentions, powerful intentions, coming from a good energy because you're cultivating love, your field, we'll call it your magnetic field, is that of love and gratitude and just joy and all these different things. You're thinking thoughts on a similar wavelength. Remember, you become what you think about. You draw to you similar things to what you think about. If your intentions are good, you will start receiving more good. But most people go into situations with fear. Most people go into situations catastrophizing, expecting the worst. And through your power of intention, that's the intention you're setting, you are putting that into play. And so most people go into situations just like a zombie at the very least, or an outcome they don't want to have happen starts coming in consistently. But just by going in with good intentions, just visualizing almost like the perfect thing happening for you, or just going in with, the exact thing I need to see or have happen is going to unfold for me now. By doing that, you will shift what begins to happen in your life because your intention is insanely powerful. To put the formula plainly, set a good intention as you go into something all day, every day as you do things, set good intentions. Say something like, it'll be this or something better as far as your expectations, and then embrace whatever comes forward, knowing it's for your good. Next, see everything as an opportunity. A lot of times, the opportunities come in ways that you least expect. And understand that nothing happens coincidentally, and everything is being set up in your favor as you're going through life. And see if you have a gut instinct, especially when things are happening. Because again, people miss opportunities because they're not looking for them. They expect an opportunity to come in and just hit them over the head and like plainly say, hey, look, an opportunity. But a lot of times opportunity will come through just that person you felt like you should have gone to talk to, or you got this pull to go to this certain place, or just take this action. And then from there unfolded an opportunity you would have never been able to see if you had not done that one thing. Like I've had things where just talking to someone has led to massive manifestations because it led to one thing, then another, and there were these ripple effects. But if I never had the conversation with the person, that never happens. Or if I never taken that action I was felt intuitively to take, the ripple effects never happen. And so start looking for opportunities through your gut instinct, through your hunches. There's a reason you get that. That's coming from a spiritual energy. It's coming from a huge power. It's coming through guidance that's saying, hey, you should go do this. And you're like, well, why? Well, the how and the why is none of your business. It's not a cerebral thing. It is an intuitive thing. And it's not going to show you the full blueprint that your mind wants before you go do it. So follow your hunches, and it will take a bit of practice to understand what a hunch is versus mind chatter, because your mind will start being like, oh, look, a hunch, a hunch, a hunch, a hunch. You have to feel out for this. This will be a gut instinct, or this will be something you feel in the heart. It'll be something that there's no justification or mind chatter around. It'll be like, I feel like I should go talk to this person. Why? I have no idea. I have no idea. I could speculate, but I really have no idea. If you get that feeling and almost like a magnetic pull towards doing the thing, my invitation would be to do it, because you have no idea what opportunity is being presented to you. Next, and this one might be a really weird one, but have a good luck charm. There is a power to embedding a certain object with certain energy, and especially that when you touch it, when you look at it, when you take it out, it puts you back in an energy. And so I'll show you my good luck charm that I have on me right now. It is a flower of life. Hopefully it'll show you because the camera might not zoom into it. And every time I touch this, every time I see this, I remind myself of an affirmation, or I remind myself to be in a good energy, to set an intention. One of the affirmations I use now when I feel this is, I am an amazing good luck generator, which I got from Peter Ragnar, who's also an expert on luck and has considered like the magic man, or someone who's just insanely lucky. It would be good to look into his stuff. But ultimately, anytime I touch that, which is always throughout the day, anytime I look at that, I remind myself of that, which shifts my thoughts, shifts my energy, puts me more into that lucky state. And so have something on your person all the time. It could be a necklace. I have this too. It could legitimately be the same thing. You know, I have other things, right? Have something on your person all the time that when you touch it, that when you see it, that you can go to when you need that shift in energy, when you need to change your thoughts, when you need that reminder, oh yeah, I am, an amazing good luck generator. Oh yeah, you know what? I'm going to think positively now. Everything is working out in my favor, whatever else it is. And as you do this throughout the day, you become what you think about. And so this becomes a trigger, a reminder to keep yourself there. And I cannot emphasize the importance of keeping your energy in that place and your thinking in that place. Most people are unlucky because they're thinking about all the time what they don't want. They're thinking about that argument or that potential argument that could happen if they go to X, Y, and Z. They're thinking of that person they don't like. They're thinking of that stress they have in their life, self-induced stress, which all stress pretty much is. They're thinking of that problem and then the multiple other problems that could be led from that, and you interrupt all of that by having this, being able to be like, you know what, I'm a good luck generator. You know what, everything is working out in my favor. You know what, this or something better is going to come through. Or you know what, I don't know why this is happening, but I know it's ultimately for my good. The more you can do that throughout the day, the more luck you're going to have. Now, like I just mentioned, one thing we cannot escape is the power of your thoughts, your energy, and your beliefs. This is going to be the biggest thing when it comes to being lucky or not. Because if you have subconscious beliefs, you have subconscious energy patterns in your field that are causing you to think a certain way all the time, well, you're going to be thinking thoughts that lead to being unlucky, to missing opportunities, that stress you out and everything else. And so we need to take care of that. And so I'd go watch this video next, where I go over how you can change your energy field, the importance of this, so that you can be someone where it's more natural for you to have thoughts that help you out here, more natural to have belief systems or create belief systems for yourself that help you. So go check that out next.